I'm going to talk about what it means when your dismissive avoidant ex reaches out to you during no contact. And I'll talk about what it means based on what they say. This applies to situations where you were the one who decided to do no contact with your dismissive avoidant ex after they broke up with you. I'll also talk about the signs that your ex actually misses you and wants to give it another shot and is serious about it. Hi, I'm Katya Morozova. I'm a personal and relationship coach for people who are ready to heal their relationship wounds, become secure in their skin, and have healthy relationships. I'm also the founder of KatyaMorozova.me. I'm committed to helping people who have been wronged in their relationships to speak up for themselves and create life and relationships by their own design. If you're new to my channel and you truly want to address the core of what it takes to heal, find yourself again, and have a healthy relationship, then definitely subscribe to my channel. Now, for a full profile of the dismissive avoidant, I'm gonna link my video titled Dismissive Avoidant Breakup, What Your Dismissive Avoidant Ex is Thinking at the end of this video. But for now, we're just gonna do a quick review. So the dismissive avoidant is the attachment style that is typically the least emotionally expressive. They typically have a hard time showing emotion and showing adoration, and are often most expressive in the bedroom where they feel safest to show their passion and expressive side. Folks who are in a relationship with the dismissive avoidant often struggle with getting their emotional needs met and sometimes wonder what their partner really thinks and feels about them. And this is especially true if you're an anxious, preoccupied partner who really craves a high level of emotional attunement in your relationships. Now, let's say that you went through a breakup and you started to do no contact with your dismissive avoidant ex for your own healing and your own mental well-being. And so far things have been, going pretty well and you're executing no contact, but now it's been maybe a week or a couple weeks or even longer, and all of a sudden you get a ping from your ex. Now, you don't know what to do, you don't really know how to respond, you're not really sure what the text means or if you should do anything about it, and you're not clear if the text even warrants a response. First, let's talk about the kinds of texts that really don't warrant a response. If your ex broke up with you and now you're doing no contact with them and they reach out in this kind of nonchalant way, like, hey, or what are you doing, or miss you, or maybe they don't even directly reach out, but instead, like a social media post or a comment on one of your posts or something like that. So these reach outs, in my opinion, don't warrant a response. And here's why. Remember that your ex ended the relationship with you. They chose to leave the relationship. This is not a casual thing to do. They, in a sense, said, I'm no longer choosing you. So if they reach out after that in a casual way, well, they're not really empathizing with or thinking about your experience. And the fact that you are probably having a really hard time and that this breakup is really difficult for you and that receiving a message from them might be interpreted as kind of a big deal. So when they reach out in a manner that feels like nothing happened between you, well, that really shows a disregard for you. Now, maybe they don't mean it that way. Maybe they're not intentionally trying to be disrespectful, but the reality is that their casual message isn't taking into account how you might feel or how their communication might land. This may be a common way for a dismissive avoidant to reach out during no contact, and especially if they are a high avoidant and don't really know how to communicate their feelings. But even if that's the case, notice how a text like this puts all of the pressure on you to try and figure out what it means and what to do about it. While it may be reasonable when you're in a relationship for you to play an interpreter type role for their feelings, especially if you're an anxious, preoccupied, or you're generally the partner who's more emotionally attuned in a relationship, this might be one of those gifts that you give to someone who's an avoidant partner or who isn't as in touch with their emotions. emotions. And that just might be a role that you play. And you may be really happy to play that role when you're in a relationship with someone who is choosing you. But just remember that once someone is no longer doing that, well, they forfeit the right to certain relationship privileges that they may have once had. So when a dismissive avoidant reaches out like this during no contact and shows a lack of effort and a lack of regard for what you might be going through and how they may have impacted you, I don't believe that this warrants a response. Now, maybe you're wondering, what's the communication that it sends to a dismissive avoidant when you don't respond to a text like this? Well, by not responding, you're also silently communicating that you won't stand for this level of vagueness in communication. And it will also send a message that if they truly want to connect with you, that they will need to put more effort into their approach. As well, when a DA doesn't put effort into reaching out to you, and if actions are a window to intentions, well then this doesn't really speak too highly of their intentions. Common intentions behind this type of reach out are, simple pings to gauge engagement, or maybe seek validation, or some kind of low-level connection where they're kind of checking to see if you're still there. Or they could also be reaching out for a booty call, or this could be one of those passing the time kind of impulsive type of texts. Responding to these kinds of texts only puts you in a vulnerable position and really opens you up to unnecessary pain. Now, let's talk about the types of texts and communication that do warrant a response. First of all, the best kind of reach out is a phone call. If a dismissive avoidant broke up with you and they truly want to get back together, a phone call is a really nice gesture and shows a lot of effort. Also, if a dismissive avoidant texts and says something like, "I would really like to talk," or "I've been thinking about you and I'm having regrets and I'd like to discuss what happened between us," or if the text shows that they're somehow valuing your time, maybe it says, "Hey, I'd like to connect with you. Are you open to that?" Or "Is there a good time for us to talk?" And it feels like they're really thinking about you. They're kind of in your world, considering where you might be at. These are all good signs that a dismissive avoidant is serious about their intentions and has some positive intentions for reaching out to you. Now, here's an expectation that might be a little bit of a tall order, and that's expecting a romantic reach out from a dismissive avoidant. But if their text signals action, that they want to take action on your connection, then this is a really good sign. Dismissive avoidants who want to make a change or who want to give it another go and are serious about it will show it by taking action and making plans rather than by professing love or showing deep emotion. So if you're an anxious preoccupied and you're hoping for a romantic gesture, this might be as romantic of a gesture as a dismissive avoidant is capable of. Remember, you can't change how the dismissive avoidant communicates or shows love, but you can shift your perception of how you view their actions and their care. If someone shows that they're serious about reconnecting by their actions, if their actions are showing effort and thoughtfulness, and if it feels like they're putting themselves out on the line, and that's a really important one, that's a communication worth responding to. I'm really curious to know if this video helped you clarify why your dismissive avoidant ex might be reaching out to you. If it was helpful, let me know in the comments below and let me know what was helpful about it. Now, if your dismissive avoidant ex reached out and you want to respond and you're not really sure how to respond, and you want to respond in a way that really gives your dismissive avoidant the room to lead in the connection and lead in reconciling and really make reparations, then I really recommend that you book a session with me so we can discuss your unique situation and come up with a game plan for what to say and how to engage in the dialogue. You can do that by signing up in the description below. Did you like this video? If you did, definitely give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to truly heal from your breakup, to understand what happened between the two of you and really use attachment theory to understand your relationship dynamic. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. Now, if you want that full profile on where the dismissive avoidant attachment style comes from, and you want to know what your ex is thinking, yes, and 2 for 1, go ahead and watch this video next. It's going to be right up here. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.